This is Dials46 and you're watching Intrigue Airsoft.
What's going on, YouTube? This is Dials46. You're watching Intrigue Airsoft. Hey, recently I had a chance to get my hands on a gun that I've kind of admired from afar for a while. I've been kind of interested in. I didn't know too much about it, so I was kind of skeptical about getting this thing. I recently was involved in a couple airsoft gun trades. I'm a big fan of trading airsoft guns. You know, once it gets old to you, maybe it's new to somebody else, trade it up, man. Check out your local forums. Trade these guns up, man. You never know what you're going to like until you get your hands on it. So, the gun I'm talking about is the S&T Tavor, or the TAR-21 from S&T. This is a full plastic gun. I stuck a replica ʟղᴇᴜ on it just because it fits so well. Goes over the back sight. I'm going to get into this real quick. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. I got a chance to chrono it at a game last weekend. I chronoed right around the 350 feet per second mark, and I just dropped the mag out of it. Let's take a look. I got a Magpul E-Mag here. I recently acquired a case of these things, and the reason I dropped it out of there is, you know, on a bullpup design, much like the famas or the AUG, the mag release is going to be right there. So you hit that button right there, and the mag releases. Really cool. This, the TAR-21 from S&T, as well as other TAR-21 makers, I think Arri makes one as well, fits standard M4 AEG mags. So, as far as I know, I haven't run across any feeding issues. I've used the PMag E-Mag brand magazines as well as a few others, and I haven't run into any feeding issues. So, it's working out pretty good so far, as long as you don't hit that, accidentally hit that release. Now, the gun is mostly plastic, or polymer, or ABS, or whatever you want to call it. You know, it's not a bad finish. It's got kind of a textured design to it. The hand grip, I will say, is a little slimmer than what I'm used to, and this is one-for-one replica of the real thing. So that's a fault that I'm nitpicking. That is the same as the real deal. So I've got a big meat hook here. The pistol grip's a little bit smaller than I'd like, but it's not bad. Now they do have kind of the contoured handguard here, much like the famas SV Super version, or the later versions of the famas. And as far as I can tell, and the research I've done, that is so when you grip it, as far as the Israeli doctrine, Israeli Weapons Industries, IWI, who makes the real version of this, which this is a direct replica of, also includes the trademarks there, if you can zoom in on that. Really nice. What they say, the way you hold it is, forehand goes there on the foregrip, and then that contoured handguard kind of rests down your forearm there, if you can pick that up on camera. So it's a different hold. It's a little weird. I always want to grab that foregrip like this and kind of go for that. But anyways, the feel of the gun's nice. It is all plastic. That being said, I think the price tag on this thing is anywhere from like 120 to 170 bucks, depending on where you get it. There's some seams on there. The tolerance on the seams, you know, it could be better. It's not the most perfect replica, but it looks like a TAR, as far as I can tell. I've never had my hands on a real one, but it looks the part. Flip up front sight, all plastic again. You know, it feels like a sturdier plastic. I wouldn't be too concerned about it breaking. There's no wiggle to it, but flip up front sight, and then it's got kind of a flip out rear. You can see that there. So, you know, got the flip up sights. That's nice. Awesome. They are plastic. But the cool thing, it does come with a Picatinny rail there. Now, the rail is plastic. That was one of my huge gripes about this gun, man. The rail's plastic. And as you know, if you're taking a heavier, you know, scope, something like this, and the base is metal, and you're attaching it to a gun like this, metal versus plastic, you get a lot of wobble, you get a bad fall maybe, you get a bad jolt. I'd be concerned about that plastic Picatinny rail, that plastic rail breaking off. It does feel sturdy for the most part. It's got 2 metal bolts securing it down into the gun, but that is a concern for sure. Pull back on the cocking lever here, and it opens up your rear hop-up adjustment area, which would be the shell ejection port on the real gun. Hop-up adjustment I didn't find too bad. It's very similar to a version 2, as I believe this is a version 2 gearbox in here, so version 2 hop-ups, everything should be standard. You should be compatible with any other version 2 hop-ups if you want to. Now, while I'm talking about that, the version 2 hop-up that comes in this S&T, wasn't very thrilled about. I haven't had too much experience with these guns, but it seemed like, being a bullpup design and an M4 length inner barrel in such a short package, the hop-up just wasn't kind of performing up to snuff. It seemed like the BBs were dropping off a little too fast, and no matter how much I adjusted it, it really wasn't going to work out. So I would suggest, I don't know if the unit is the flaw or just the bucking and the hop-up nubby, but or the sleeve and the nubby, whatever you want to call it. I would suggest looking into a replacement for that. I think that'd fix a lot of the flaw in this thing. Now, another thing to note real quick, this is a plastic gearbox in this thing. ABS, whatever, reinforced plastic gearbox. So that was kind of one of the drawbacks of it. However, there's a couple other guns out there, like the Star M249. I think Star makes another one that's got an ABS or a solid plastic gearbox in it. But that is kind of scary, But on the other hand, plastic gearbox is going to have a little bit more tolerance than maybe that that thinner, brittle, lower grade, like aluminum pot metal, what we call metal gearbox. It's not really like steel, it's not like tungsten or unobtainium. It's not going to make it any more better. It's just peace of mind that it is metal and it feels cold to the touch. I have shattered gearboxes before, not shattered, but cracked them. A lot of times on these version 2 gearboxes, especially the front area of the gearbox, from the movement of the piston, the slamming of the piston into the cylinder, you'll knock the front of that gearbox off. It'll break clean off. I've done it on at least 2 different occasions. But this one's plastic. I don't have any issues with it. Shimming sounds okay. Let me show you guys what I'm talking about real quick. It's not so bad. It's not the cleanest sounding gearbox. Again, with any bullpup design, you're gonna have that gearbox noise going off right next to your head. So looking down range when you're using this in a skirmish or an airsoft war, make sure you're listening for what's next to your head. And you're not gonna be able to hear much of what's going on around you, especially with the bullpup design. All the gearboxes are in the ass end of the gun. So the cool thing about this gun, though, is if you pop this pin out of the back here, give me 1 second. Pin pops out real easy, like so. Fold that out, and it's got a quick change spring option in there. I don't know if you can pick that up. The light's kind of going down on me, but it's got a quick change spring option in there, which is awesome. So if you want to, I think it comes stock with like an M110 in it, is what I would guess. You're right around that 350 feet per second mark. If you want to get like an M100 or even an M90, lower the feet per second, you're probably going to extend the life of the gun because of that plastic gearbox, and make it last a lot longer. And it'll definitely be CQB friendly. So for those CQB fields that are 300 feet per second and under, it's an awesome option to have that quick change spring. You go out to an open field that has a 400 feet per second rule, you can throw a M120 back in there and you're right back at it. So awesome feature. Handguard, push button right there, push that in, slides right open, and you've got access to your battery space here. Now I've got a 8.4 mini in there. There's definitely enough room for a 9.6 mini. The wiring, as long as you get the wiring down, kind of a pain in the butt, but not a big deal. Just get the wires right. If you want to put a lipo in there, tons of room for any kind of lipo, 7.4, 11.1s, whatever. Slides right back on, real easy. Nice, easy, on and off right there by that push button. Clicks into place. It does come affixed with a glued in blaze orange flash hider, which I'm not opposed to. That's fine. I'm going to leave it on there. The glue is just kind of oozing out. The barrel does seem to be some kind of lower grade aluminum on it. So as far as getting that flash hider off, that might be kind of tricky. You don't want to torque that that metal barrel. You know what I mean? You try to start wrenching on that thing, you might jack the barrel all kinds up. You're not gonna be able to see it, but when you look in there, it's a red inner barrel, much like that red cylinder that they put in there. You know, some people complain about it. I think it looks kind of cool, whatever, red cylinder. The metal on the inner barrel is red. I don't know if you'll be able to pick it up, but it is. Take my word for it. Also, the shell ejection port release right there, and I've kind of messed with my wire, so I think it's kind of jacking it up, but that's supposed to slap forward. Let me show you again what it's not doing. There's a button right there. You push it, and mine gets stuck a little bit, so I assist it forward. If you have all the wires right in there from the gearbox to the battery housing, it runs a long wire all the way from the rear of the gearbox all the way to the front where the battery's housed up here in the foregrip. So you get that wire kinked up, it will mess with that ejection opening, the spring tension on that that shell door there. That's really about it, man. Guys, make sure you subscribe. Check out my Facebook page at facebook.com/IntrigueAirsoft, and hit me up on my website at IntrigueAirsoft.com. Oh yeah, one more thing. I'm currently working on opening up an indoor CQC field and pro shop here in Kansas City. If that sounds like something that might be cool to you, if you're in the Kansas City area, or if you're not, stop on by my website, IntrigueAirsoft.com, or the Facebook page, facebook.com/IntrigueAirsoft, and give us a holler. Give us feedback. This is going to be Kansas City field, so if you're in Kansas City, this is your field. Let us know what you'd like to see, what you expect. Hopefully we can make it work for everybody. Thanks for watching, guys.